Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k17 Universe Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz, and tonight on Raw, we have a rare championship match taking place on Raw, and Shinsuke Nakamura, the United States Champion, will be defending against the up-and-coming Apollo Crews. That will be taking place later on. But first, we have another episode of Superstars as Natalya will go one-on-one with Alexa Bliss. We have Danny Burch, a free agent here in Universe Mode. He gets a chance to compete on Superstars, and he will, I guess, basically have a trial matchup to see how he goes, how he performs up against Mark Henry, so good luck to him. And we have a one-on-one matchup between Chad Gable, who will be going one-on-one against The Miz. Natalya gets a victory over Alexa Bliss. Can Burch defeat Mark Henry? No, he can't. And Gable versus The Miz. It is going to be The Miz with a victory over Gable. Well, here on Raw, we have Naomi going one-on-one with Dana Brooke. Neville will renew his rivalry with Sheamus, going one-on-one with the Celtic Warrior. The Golden Truth are up against the New Day's Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston in tag team action. Charlotte, our women's champion, gets ready for her title defense against Becky Lynch as she takes on Sasha Banks one-on-one. We find out who will take on the club at the upcoming Extreme Rules pay-per-view for the tag team titles. It is the American Alpha up against the Usos. The winner will take on the club at Extreme Rules. Big match that is tonight. And speaking of big matches, the United States Championship on the line. Apollo Crews gets his shot against Nakamura. Well, we don't know who Nakamura will be facing at the upcoming Extreme Rules pay-per-view. So Christian wants to put him to the test a little bit early, just in case he can't find him an opponent. And he'll be taking on Apollo Crews here tonight. Naomi versus Dana Brooke in our opening contest. Dana Brooke gets the victory. Neville versus Sheamus. The Celtic Warrior gets the win. The Golden Truth versus the New Day. It's the New Day with the win. And Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. Can our champ get the win? Yes, she can. Time for tag team action. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to find out our #1 contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And the American Alpha approaching the ring. Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, who had a pretty impressive victory over the A-listers last week. Unfortunately for Gable, he couldn't pick up a win over the Miz one-on-one, but not to worry, it won't matter because this is for the Tag Team Championship #1 contendership, not about singles. So singles wins won't bother him too much. Wins and losses won't bother him too much. But the American Alpha have lots of confidence heading into this one tonight. A very good win last week. They just need to back it up, and they'll finally get themselves back in the title picture, a place that they've been begging to be for a long period of time now. Their opponents, the Usos, well, they're a team that know all about winning tag team championships here in Universe Mode, multiple-time tag team champions. And well, they had a pretty decent run winning the championships late last season, holding on to it until, of course, WrestleMania. But they've got to really impress here tonight if they're going to get themselves another shot at the club. Of course, they had an opportunity against the club in our Payback pre-show, and they missed out on that matchup as, of course, Gallows and Anderson were too good, and they knocked off the Usos in that occasion. So the club, still the tag team champions, still as dominant and threatening and menacing as ever. And they'll be very, very hard to stop. The Usos, though, they know all about them now. They've had 2 opportunities against them. They could have one last chance. And it could be third time's the charm to finally get a victory over the club. And they've actually faced them before that as well and lost on that occasion as well. So the Usos really have struggled against the club. It's been really the one team that the Usos have not been able to beat. The American Alpha, on the other hand, are a team the Usos have beaten in the past, and that will give them plenty of confidence heading into this one here tonight. 2 fan-favorite tag teams in this matchup looking to take on the club, who have, well, like we said, ever since they came back from Japan, they had a bit of a hiatus, a couple months away, going back to Japan, getting some confidence, getting the wins back. They have been absolutely unstoppable. AJ Styles now is their new leader. And the club, whilst they haven't really been dealing with AJ Styles directly, AJ Styles more behind the scenes in recent times, giving them advice and being a mentor, they've still been able to come out there and really put it into practice and perform exceptional. And they are very, very hard to beat. The American Alpha and the Usos both know that. They'll have to be on the top of their game if they are going to take those Raw Tag Team titles from the club. Plenty of good tag teams here on Raw that could pose a big threat for the club in the future. So that's something they'll have to be very, very careful about, as Jordan with a suplex there on Jay. Chad Gable now in as well. He'll be looking to bounce back after that loss against The Miz. And like I said earlier, it won't bother him too much, but you don't want to lose too many matches. It doesn't matter if it is tag team or singles. It shouldn't hurt his confidence into this one here tonight, considering he's got his partner there to help out. But he certainly will want to get as many victories as he possibly can, whenever the circumstance. As Jimmy Uso will now enter this matchup. Well, the American Alpha we've talked about in the past, but they have been a team that's come so close to winning, but just has not been able to pick up the big one. Obviously, tag team champions down in NXT. But since arriving to the main roster, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the time for them to finally get that major victory. They are so close. They could get it as soon as Extreme Rules if they can get back-to-back wins here against the Usos and then follow it up against the club. That's all I have to do. Is a big Samoan drop there by Jimmy, as now Jay is back in as well. But it's easier said than done. The American Alpha, like we said, have come close, but just have not been able to finish the job. And that's an issue that a lot of teams have had here in Universe Mode. They get some momentum, they get some confidence, but when it comes to getting the last big win to get them over the line, get them over that hurdle, they haven't been able to do it. Just look at the Los Matadors, for example, picked up a lot of victories, but when it came to becoming the #1 contenders, just couldn't get it done. And that's something they have to work on, and will certainly be something that the American Alpha needs to work on as well. The Usos, though, they have been in this circumstance a number of times and actually have found a way to win. And I guess that will give them a lot of confidence. If you can find ways to win big matches like this #1 contenders match, like a championship match, anytime you come into that circumstance later on, it's going to give you plenty of confidence. And that's something that really can shape the way you perform in the future. There's an elbow there by Gable off the top. He's pretty happy about that, and he'll celebrate with the fans there. Pretty happy about that moment, and he should be. That's done some good damage there to Jay. So just to finish that point off, the Usos have been good in a lot of these circumstances. So you come into a #1 contenders match if you're the Usos and you're confident. Whereas the American Alpha, they're starting to doubt themselves. Can we win these big matches? As a headbutt there off the second there by Jay. So immediately already coming into this match, the Usos have the upper hand. And at the moment, they have the upper hand in the match right there. It's a super kick there by Jay on Chad Gable. Trouble now for the American Alpha already. As Jay's going to get in the corner, look to perhaps tag in his partner. Maybe trying to go for that splash, but he couldn't quite get the tag thanks to the counter there by Gable, who also sweeps Jay off his feet as well. As now Gable has the arms hooked and plants him down. Now has the arm locked in. Surely Jay's feet are near the rope there, trying to force a break. He's moving his feet everywhere, but on the ropes. This could be a tap out here if he's not careful. He's able to break free of the armbar. That arm breaker could have really severely injured his arm, and also, well, it really made him tap out. He was moving his legs around everywhere except for not on the ropes or underneath the ropes. It was a big mistake there by Jay. Nearly cost him the match. Now, Jimmy launches himself off the top. Both legs are hooked. Trouble here for Chad Gable. Jordan got in the ring, wanted to help, but he decided to let this one play out as Gable did kick out. Well, Jimmy showing some terrific athleticism, flying off the top of the rope there, and now the knee strikes the face of Jimmy. Well, the American Alpha have gone from being in major trouble to just barely surviving here. Gable's been able to get out of a tough situation. He might need to look for a tag here. Jason Jordan, he's pretty confident. He's just having some fun with the fans in the apron. Meanwhile, his partner's trying to fight for survival here, trying to get his team this win. Jordan's got to get in there and look for the tag. Elbow there by Chad. Right hand now. And this could be a suplex connecting. German suplex by Gable. Could be it here. No, a kick out as Jimmy Uso just barely survives. And Gable cannot believe it. He thought he had him beat right there. We nearly crowned our next #1 contenders for the Raw Tag Team titles. But Jimmy survives. And now the tag is made. So that's a good sign there by Chad Gable. I thought he was in a bad way. I thought he needed to go for the tag earlier. But he felt as though that he was going to be able to put some pressure on Jimmy. Hit the German suplex. Then went for the tag to help his tag partner out. As that'll help Jimmy Uso as well. A super kick there. Now he wants to get Jason Jordan in the corner. And he wants this tag, and you know why. Here's the scoop slam. Now Jay off the top. Here comes the Usos. Splash off the top. Now the cover. Hooks the leg. Jordan in big trouble. It's over. No, the shoulder is up. And the fresh man, Jason Jordan, still has enough in the tank to survive. Maybe if they hadn't done that to Gable, they could have got a win. But because of that tag that Gable was able to make to Jordan, he just was too fresh to beat him that quickly. So then the Usos fired their best shot to the wrong guy. Was it a mistake? Will they be able to try for it again? If you hit it twice, surely that'll be enough. There's now Jimmy back in. Hook of the leg now by Jimmy as he goes for the cover. Can't get it as a quick kick out by Jordan, who hasn't had the best of times since entering this matchup. The Usos have been able to get the better of him. I don't think he was seeing it that way. I thought he was going to come in here and probably clean house. But at the moment he's fighting, trying to hang in there. He's got Jimmy against the ropes. And now, look out! Launches him over the top with the belly to belly. What about the strength there by Jason Jordan? Comfortably throwing his opponent over the top of the rope. And Jordan in control of this match. Well, Jordan was moments away from losing this one. Now with that belly to belly, that's a game changer right there as Jimmy will slap the face of Jordan. Now he's going to go for a step suplex on the outside of the ring on the hard floor out there. That padding there doesn't have much give. And you're landing on the concrete surface basically. As now Jimmy experiences that firsthand for himself. Jason Jordan has that chin lock. As the referee continuing the count, we're running out of time here. He might need to look to get back in the ring. A count out will do though. A count out will get his team to the Extreme Rules pay-per-view as Jimmy launched into the steel ring post. Now Jay launches Jason Jordan in the ring. I think that's a count of 9. His partner's down. Whoa! We've got a count out win for the American Alpha. The American Alpha have done it. And they will be your new #1 contenders for the club's tag team titles. Well, what just happened there? Jason Jordan was launched into the ring. He was thrown back in the ring there by Jey Uso. Jimmy was down after getting struck by the steel ring post. And Jay throws Jason Jordan back in the ring to give him the victory. I don't think he realized the count was on. I think he just wanted to get Jordan out of there to stop, attacking his brother even further. But little did he know it was a 9 count, and that was it. His partner was down. There's the 10 count. Jordan's back in the ring, and the American Alpha get the win, and Jey Uso messes up big time for his team, and the American Alpha take on the club at the upcoming Extreme Rules pay-per-view for the Raw Tag Team Championships. It wasn't pretty, but they'll take it. Well, time for our main event here on Raw, and the United States Championship will be on the line as Apollo Crews gets an opportunity for the title that Shinsuke Nakamura has held for a long, long time, all the way since the Night of Champions pay-per-view. And this will be a strong test for the King of Strong Style. Apollo Crews has had plenty of success in NXT last season, yet to find his best here on Raw. We know he's not too far away from finding it. I think he just needs one big win to set him alight and get him started. So tonight could be the night. He might upset Nakamura and end what could be an historic championship reign. If Nakamura can keep it going further down the line, it could even break the longest reigning record that Dolph Ziggler currently holds for the United States Championship. The US title has kind of been a championship that's been held for a long, long period of time in the history of Universe Mo. In fact, I think it'd have to be the most longest reigned championship, if you know what I mean, in Universe Mo. I mean, Big E held it for a long, long time at one point. Ziggler, as we know, now Nakamura. So yeah, it's a championship that a lot of guys, when they win it, they don't want to lose it. And Nakamura will not want to lose it here tonight against Apollo Crews. We don't know who Nakamura will be facing at Extreme Rules, if he can make it to Extreme Rules as the champion. That is the big question. But Nakamura will be tested here tonight just a little bit early, just in case our general manager Christian does not find him an opponent. He'll be tested here tonight. In fact, he might even be tested twice if he does indeed find Nakamura an opponent. So Nakamura versus Apollo Crews tonight. It will not be easy for Nakamura at all. Plenty to like about Apollo Crews. He's just been very, very impressive. Just needs a few victories to come. And by the way, if you're wondering why the hell the Royal Rumble is popping up on the Titantron there, I don't know. It's just a bit of a glitch that's happening, so just ignore that. I know you guys like to pinpoint every little tiny detail that goes wrong in my show and criticize it, so I'll criticize it myself first. I don't know. But anyways, back to the match. Apollo Crews. Can he beat Nakamura? Championship reign that has gone for a long, long time. Is it about to end right here tonight on Raw? We don't normally have that many championship matches here on Raw or Smackdown or even NXT, so this is a nice little bonus for us here tonight. Nakamura, big opportunity to beat Apollo Crews and keep his momentum going. Of course, he beat Samoa Joe at the recent Payback preview. A huge win right there, and I think that kind of solidified, in my opinion, Nakamura as one of the great champions here on Universe Mode. Samoa Joe is the real deal. Samoa Joe will be a world champion at some point, as will Nakamura. So beating Samoa Joe was a huge accomplishment for Nakamura. But tonight, he needs to beat Apollo Crews to cap off what has been a pretty successful start to his career. The Slammy Awards are coming away very, very soon, and Nakamura has been nominated for nearly every award, Rookie of the Year, Best Superstar of the Year, Raw Superstar of the Year, and there's a good reason why. He's had a tremendous season in Season 3 of Universe Mode, and he started off Season 4 just in the same way as he left Season 3, on top, on fire, destroying it, killing it, beating everyone that comes his way. But Apollo Crews will really test him here as a need to Nakamura. And look, you might think of Apollo Crews, what has he done to deserve this championship? This is just an opportunity for Apollo Crews to prove himself. Christian is extending his hand out here to Apollo Crews. He knows he's talented. There's a reason why Christian has signed him, picked him out as one of the NXT guys that he wanted on his roster. As now he drops the elbow, does Crews. He picked him out. He wanted him to be on Raw. He knows that he's got so much talent. There's a reason why he's here. And he just wants to prove it on the main stage. Wants to see Apollo Crews, even if he doesn't win here tonight, just step up and show us what he can do. Show that he can compete against some of the best. Because so far, he's been a little bit, up and down. He's had some moments where he's been fantastic. Obviously, was really, really competitive in NXT at a time where NXT had some of the absolute best. Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Hideo Itami. Those are the type of guys, Austin Aries as well. Those are the type of guys that Apollo Crews had to face down in NXT. Very, very tough competition, but he held his own. He was very, very competitive, came very, very close to winning the NXT Championship. Now he's here on Raw, and a lot of those same guys, they're here as well. So it's still very, very tough competition for Apollo Crews, but now it's time for Crews to show that he can beat those guys, and he can be just as good, if not better than those, to start winning some championships, start proving himself on the big stage. As a German suplex there by Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura, the arm into the shoulder of Crews. Crews tried to launch himself, missing out, as now Nakamura with a suplex connecting there. Well, Shinsuke Nakamura, obviously being US Champion, we know the US title and the IC title are the two belts that are used to kind of elevate these guys to the next level. We saw it with Dolph Ziggler recent times. He won the championship, albeit, for not very long, but there's another German there by Nakamura. This time a little bit more force and authority there. There definitely will be some pressure on Crews right now as Nakamura. Is he going to go for the cover? Looks to be the case. Can he get the win here? Beat Crews early. No, kick out at one. So I guess the questions now are starting to come in. Can Nakamura be the next guy to take that step into the main event and potentially become a world champion? I think we all agree that he is good enough. There's no doubt about it. I think we all know that Nakamura is good enough. He can be a world champion. But obviously, Kevin Owens currently the Universal Champion. Goldberg's chasing the title. So it's a tough competition here with Nakamura, Ziggler, Rollins, Styles, Cena, just to name a few. Samoa Joe, of course, as well. Just to name a few guys that all are gunning for that title as well. So Nakamura, whilst he's been terrific, he's, could be in the back of the line a little bit. He's going to have to start perhaps coming up against some of these top-tier talents and looking to beat them. It's a drop kick there off the second rope by Apollo Crews, and Apollo Crews looking pretty good here. He's definitely trying to step up here tonight. He knows the situation here. He knows he needs to make the most of it. And he's so far so good. As Crews Big enziguri to the side of Nakamura's head. Is this enough for Apollo Crews to beat him? No, Nakamura was able to counter, hit the knee there to Crews and stop the potential pinfall or even follow-up maneuver from occurring there. As now, he'll hook the leg on Crews, but he'll kick out again comfortably. Just putting the pressure back on Apollo Crews, and he's going to do that here as he wraps the legs around the neck region of Apollo Crews, but he's able to break free of that pretty comfortably. So I guess Nakamura, all I want to see from him is, obviously if he can beat Crews tonight, and we'll see who he comes up against next. If he can get through them as well, he might need to start challenging some of these main event guys. Look to beat a couple of them and look to establish yourself at the top, as now Crews in major trouble. Nakamura launches him over the top of his head, and now Crews is down. Can Nakamura make the most of it? No, Crews takes him down off his feet. Perhaps saving the day for himself there. Nakamura normally would look to try and set something up big after that. Maybe that Kinshasa, but Crews able to hang on. Now Crews, what's he got planned here? Might be going for that powerbomb. Tempted right hand. Nakamura counters and blocks. Back with one of his own. Pushes Crews into the corner. And now Nakamura, he's on the second rope. Look out, Crews, don't turn around! Because you're not going to like the view. A big knee right in the back of his head. Apollo Crews, he didn't know what was coming, but he knew it was something big. And it was the knee, as now Nakamura does it again, this time off the second rope, but Crews able to roll up, get out of the way. And Apollo Crews, it could be the beginning of the end for him. He's just struggling a little bit here. Nakamura's been able to get the better of him in the last few minutes. Oh, jeez, what a right hand. That right hand put Crews straight off his feet. And Nakamura now to defend the championship. No, Crews grabs the championship. And thank goodness our referee put his contacts in here tonight. He realized that he grabbed the ropes and he was straight onto it. He was able to identify that and called for the break. Shoulder block takedown there by Crews. Apollo Crews, just when he seems as though he's going to get the better of Nakamura, Nakamura finds a way to overcome that and turn the tables and put the offense back into his own favor. And that's where Crews has to rectify those little mistakes there. Nakamura, if he can dictate the course of this match, the flow of this match, then he's obviously going to win this one. Apollo Crews needs to just find a way to stop these counters from happening and get a big move of his own in. Put the pressure back on Nakamura. He's come close. And Nakamura seems to shut him down whenever he's just about to execute. Crews now has a hold of him. This might be the move here. Crews has him up. Going for the powerbomb. He's got one. There's the second. Here's the streak by Crews. 3 powerbombs in a row. And he's pretty pumped up about that as well. Nakamura in a bad way. Crews with a few right hands. Nakamura trying to get to his feet, but Crews not letting him. Now, Crews has him up and down for a suplex. Showing his power there by Apollo Crews. Is he about to become the next United States champion here in Universe Mode? Nakamura's in trouble. Crews now. Another suplex. Nakamura is down. Apollo Crews to win the championship and beat Nakamura here tonight. No, a kick out. Apollo Crews almost secured the biggest win of his career to date. He needs to keep going though. He's got Nakamura on the ropes and oh, Nakamura, there's the counter. That's exactly what we said. Just when Crews has got the better of Nakamura, just when he's about to try look to finish him off, Nakamura finds a way. And now Nakamura again, launching Crews. Nakamura, he's in a good position now to strike. That Kinshasa could be coming Crews' way soon. But Crews, he's desperately trying to hang on. He realizes he's getting close there as the standing shooting star press there on Shinsuke Nakamura. But Crews though, receives the uppercut from Nakamura. And Nakamura again back to his feet and stopping Crews from taking advantage. But Crews this time with the counter. Thought he was going to hang on and go for the cover. He will though, changes his mind. And might have just missed out on an opportunity to actually put more pressure on Nakamura after the counter and decided to wait a moment. Referee was late in position anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. So Apollo Crews, well, posing to the crowd. I'm not sure about this one, Apollo. I mean, yes, the crowd are enjoying what you're doing. You're a fan favorite, but you've got to focus here, and you've got to look to put Nakamura away. He does so now, as now Apollo Crews setting up Shinsuke. Can he go for it? No. Went for the right hand. Nakamura with the counter. Attempted scoop slam. Cruz countering himself. Apollo Crews is going to find that powerbomb. He just can't seem to get it here. Nakamura countering again. It's back and forth between the two. The US title's on the line. Nakamura trying desperately to hang on to it. Crews trying desperately to win his first title here in Universe Mode. And again with a standing shooting star. Can Crews take advantage? No, Nakamura again. Shrugs him away. And Nakamura now looking to the crowd for some support. Crews is down. I'm not sure about this again from Nakamura. He's not in the best positions. Crews has really put the pressure on him. And he's coming close to beating Nakamura. I feel as though he's one big move away from beating the US champ. And Nakamura's looking to pose. I'm not sure about that one, Shinsuke. He's going to focus on beating Crews here. A knee right there to Crews will help. And now, hang on. Look out! Kinshasa! Where did that come from? Kinshasa there to Crews and beats him. Well, Nakamura, that's why he was posing. He wasn't too phased. He realized, hey, I can hit the Kinshasa and I'll get this win. He had an opportunity, a small window, and he took it. Smashes Cruz's face in with the Kinshasa, and Nakamura still your United States champion. A big win here over Crews tonight. Apollo Crews, though, you got to hand it to him. He put up a really good fight. I felt as though one big move and he had him beat. Just so close, but just couldn't execute at the right time. He misses out, but I'm sure he'll get more opportunities down the line. Impressive from Nakamura, let's be honest. He should be beating somebody like Apollo Crews at this stage. Apollo Crews still learning the ropes, still getting better. Nakamura getting ready to perhaps move up to the main event scene here on Raw. Nakamura is very, very good. Crews showed some great fight tonight, but Nakamura just too good here tonight and a great win. And, whoa, wait a second. Austin Aries! That's Austin Aries! What's he doing? Austin Aries striking Nakamura! Austin Aries? Well, what the hell's he doing out here? He's now lining up Nakamura. Look out! The clothesline by Aries. Well, we learned that our GM Christian is looking for the next opponent for Nakamura, and we saw Aries and Christian have a meeting a couple of weeks ago. Is this what it's all about? Is this the new opponent for Nakamura at Extreme Rules? Austin Aries with a 450 splash on Nakamura. Austin Aries takes out Shinsuke Nakamura with a huge splash and talking some trash right in the face of Nakamura as well. Austin Aries, I think we have just found Nakamura's next opponent, Austin Aries, to make his first in-ring appearance as a member of the Raw roster, his debut on the main roster. It will take place at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Aries Nakamura one-on-one for the US title. Aries will make his debut, and could he walk out as the US champion? A big night indeed for Austin Aries. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for an episode of Universe Mode. If you did enjoy it, let's try and hit our big goal. Let's go for 6 likes on today's episode. Please do leave a like. Also, subscribe to see more. Follow me on Twitter at BrendenPlayz. Check out the website, BrendenPlayz.com. Of course, we put the NXT rosters. They are now available on the website, so if you haven't already, check that out. The Raw and Smackdown rosters are there as well. Still working on the Slammy Awards. Give me some time. I'll get that done very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that one. And follow me on Twitter at BrendenPlayz. Leave a like on the Facebook page, BrendenPlayz. Have a good day, and I'll see you on the next episode.